Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Here's what I propose. I'm going to go ahead and let this one be a regular upload, and then the next one will be a premiere. But I'm going to let them come out, same day. So this one you're probably going to hear. Well, it's going to be different days for you. This one you're probably going to hear about 4 p.m. your time. And then the next one maybe about 4 p.m. Eastern time. And the next one, I think I'll let you hear about 8 a.m. Eastern time. The next one, the premiere, is going to be about the role that racist ethnic Muslims played in Jonathan Majors. For this one, though, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Richie Mac's guest at the interview and her husband. Again, I'm going to go more in depth because there's some things that some people didn't realize. First, let me give a shout out to M. Raymond for coming through on the Cash App. I understand that a lot of you can't do that this time of year. Now, I'm not really worried about that too much because it's not your responsibility anyway. I'm not your responsibility. What you all give is only out of the kindness of your hearts. And that's why I thank you all for it. But by the same token, I want to state this. When I propose a particular solution for black folks, part of that solution takes a lot of the pressure off at this time of year. See, being Muslim, and people know I don't do Christmas and I don't do Thanksgiving. I don't mind being with family when I'm off work, period, whatever time of year it is, but I don't do Christmas and I don't do Thanksgiving as holidays. They understand. Don't worry about getting me a gift. And I'm not going to sit up here and fight no damn crowds and traffic and everything else to buy y'all something for a birthday that is not actually the birthday of the Messiah as claimed to be any mother cuss word way. I don't do that for my own birthday. The only thing I said on my brother's birthday is, I remember this day, this many years ago, when I got the phone call that I had a brother, and then 2 days later we were pulling up back into my hometown, and I was running into my parents' house to see him. So I was grateful for the time that I have with my brother, but I wasn't like, happy birthday, and we're going to make it a holiday. And I'm glad that he's here. Don't get it twisted. I'm glad he is, but birthdays are not our holidays. And so I am very grateful, actually, that I don't have to fight the crowds and the traffic and all this other stuff. I propose a solution for you guys. Not only from some selfish interest. Actually, I don't gain anything when you accept the solution, but so that you don't have to go through this stress. This is a stressful time of year for a lot of you. It doesn't have to be. Anyway, moving on. Richie Mac's guest. What Crimson Cure may not have realized is that Richie Mac's guest was already in Thailand when he met her. He met her in Thailand. She didn't fly out to Thailand for the interview. He met her there. I already talked about how she was defending the hyenas that she doesn't even imitate in her marriage with her husband. I mean, she learned how to cook. She learned how to cook, right? She learned how to cook for her husband because that was one of his non-negotiables. That's not something a hyena does. And look at the shape that that woman is in. She's in good shape. She's nice to look at. But she can't get on a camera and admit, I look like this, I look this good, and I'm also going to have a good attitude for my husband. She still has that hyena programming in her that says, either it tells her, you can't do that, or you can't let them know you do that. Well, she learned how to cook, so that means that attitude must not be a problem. But that man on that couch, though he had no facial expression, as I stated before, there's one other thing. And in case I forgot to mention it last time, I can't remember. I remember thinking about it. I don't remember if I said it. In case I forgot to mention it last time, it's not a masculine trait when we look at somebody's blank facial, just a blank face, a resting face, and attribute a facial expression that's not there to it. That's not masculine. She didn't really say much about his facial expression. Crimson Cure pointed out something else that was more concrete. He wasn't leaning towards her. Now, the camera angle may have exaggerated a bit, but I don't think he was leaning straight up either. He seemed to be leaning a bit away from her. Now, I know Ricky Mac. I'm sorry, why did I say Ricky Mac? Sorry, bro. I don't mean any harm. I don't know what. Richie Mac does have air conditioning in his house. I'm sure he does. So he could have been folding his arms up because it wasn't hot in there. Even though Thailand's warm and humid, the inside, I'm sure, was air conditioned. Here's the thing. When she was talking, y'all heard what she was doing. She was defending the hyenas. Now that shows two possibilities. Either she's afraid of the hyenas getting at her when she goes back to the West, or she is aware of a plan and a march of feminism there, and she's aware of some success of which we're not aware. And she's afraid of the hyenas getting at her while she's there. That's a bad sign either way. When I talked about how I had students that were good in English and they were good students in general, and the one bad thing about them was that they were too sympathetic and too defensive of the pieces of excrement that didn't belong in class with them, I was talking about them to tell you that that's the mindset of the women like her. Won't behave like a hyena, but has to defend the hyenas. What the wuck for? No, shuck that fit. Go after the hyenas. Get on their behinds. They're hyenas. You need to do that. You can't sit there and let them off the hook. You must go after the hyenas. You must give the hyenas that work. You don't sit up there and defend them and act like passport bros or a problem. As I stated, morally speaking, black men have the right to badmouth the sapphires from whom we have fled. If she didn't want to be a sapphire, she should not have defended them. Sapphires don't have the right to say a mother cuss word thing about us, because they've been lying. Now, what Alan Anderson brought up a valid point. Some brothers may still just want to fight the gender war. I don't particularly want to, but I'm willing to the extent that they're willing to fight, because frankly, I've seen how you brothers are up close. And when you are not matriarchy minded, you are some of the best characters on the planet. I've seen this. I have to say you, because I can't count myself in that number of being the best character on the planet or being the smartest. I'm not that intelligent anymore. I'm great when it comes to languages. I can't figure out a damn thing about investments, and I don't know the jargon. And I got the worst luck when it comes to investments. I try to invest. I feel like I can't even ask God for help when I invest in something. That's what it feels like to me. Now, when I pay my employee salaries without your help, I have to. But you all have made it quite easy. I started to invest a little bit in the XRP. I'm still in the early stages. I haven't amassed a whole lot in it yet. I'm getting it bit by bit. But I can tell you this. I went to the man to buy some XRP, and he showed me the screenshot. He sent it to me. It just ain't hit my wallet yet. I'm like, what the F? The reason the people investing in XRP is because it goes through like that. But when it's me, because I might make some money from it, it stops. So when it comes to investment, I don't have the talent, and I don't feel like I have the blessing. I want to be wrong about that. Anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. This lady did exactly what my good students previously used to do up until about 2022. Well, 2020 we were no longer in the physical classroom. But in 2022, when we went back to the physical classroom, that's when I saw the students doing it very differently. That's when they began to rat out the cheaters that did not belong in these classrooms with them. Until that point, they were part of the problem. And that's what she's like, no, I'll behave right. I'll do right. But I'm just not willing to stand against the hyenas yet. No, shuck that fit. Now, I am not the Messiah, alayhi salam. I don't know if the New Testament quoted the Messiah correctly or not when he was quoted to have said that he came not to bring peace but a sword, and to divide a house against itself, and mother against daughter, and father against son, and brother against sister, and sister against brother. But that is true about me, black mind. I don't interfere in marriages in which they keep things private. When it's their business, it's their business. But this woman put some things out in the public. So I'm going to speak to that brother, her husband, sir. I normally wouldn't do this, but like I said, she exposed certain things. She should either accept your correction when you tell her you don't defend that type of stuff out in public. Or private for that. It's not defensible. The hyena's behavior is not defensible. She either accepts your correction or you replace her. And let her fend for herself, because she does not deserve. She should not benefit from what you bring. She should not benefit from your provision and your protection. What is the other one? Problem solving, procreation? No. And she doesn't, she said something apparently about having learned how to cook, or was it you? I'm not really sure. But if she learned to cook for you, and then in the public she wants to act like, but the hyenas are okay, that's bad enough, bro. Because eventually, that means she's willing to listen to the hyenas, and eventually they're going to tell her that she was wrong for learning how to cook to be with you. And when she realizes that the hyenas she defended are still looking down on her for being good to you, she going to start looking down on you. He wasn't worth it. So go ahead and replace her. Either she takes correction or go ahead and replace her. And I hate to talk like this and tell anybody what to do in their marriage, but this is for the culture. I'm not going to sit up and say it's for the ancestors, but, well, it's at least for the descendants of the ancestors, us living today and the future ones tomorrow. I came to divide daughter against hyena, and hyena against daughter. Son against simp, and simp against son. Husband against hyena, and hyena against husband. In reality, half of what I said is not even anything I have to do. I don't have to turn the hyena against the husband. I don't have to turn the simp against the son. I don't have to turn the hyena mom against the daughter if the daughter is not a hyena. I don't have to do these things, but I've come to turn those of us that are not simps and hyenas against the simps and the hyenas, like they are against us. I came not to bring peace, not with them. And black man, I don't like fighting a gender war either, but when they're going after you, I don't mind. Well, I don't, like I said, I don't like it, but I'm prepared to the extent of my capacity, because frankly, you just don't deserve it. There was a time when I was the kind of guy that did not deserve that. But that man's been dead for years. I see it in a lot of you brothers. You don't deserve it. I get sick and tired of hearing some brothers glorify fornication. But even when what you're looking for is a cheap nut, you don't deserve a gender war being fought against you. You're not trying to provoke that. And even then, many of you would marry if it was safer. and easier. When you find out that somebody, you see, people get lied on and people are told the truth about, truthfully exposed or truthfully described all the time. But yours is a case in which I'm very familiar with the lies. I'm very familiar with what are lies, so I know enough to defend you. My defense of you is justifiable and morally right. Her detraction of you is not, and her defense of hyenas is not. It is morally wrong. Never forget what I said before and what I'm going to say one more time before I sign off of this. She does not. No one has the right to morally, no one's got the moral right to defend the Western hyena. Or even westernized women that imitate them. No one has that right. Morally speaking, that's the wrong way to go. And we have the right to talk bad about the misandrist. Period. Not only the right, we have the obligation because they have an agenda. And they're marching forward with that agenda. And they're not meeting with enough failure yet for our comfort. She's there in Thailand and she's scared of hyenas. What does that tell you? What the hell does she know that she's not telling us? Never respect some right of theirs to speak in their own defense. No, we're not blaming them for stuff they didn't do anyway. And I leave you with what I heard Lionel McTow and Dennis Sperling saying different words, but same advice. I heard Edward Allen Anderson say this too. And I might have heard Kevin Samuel say this. To get what they want, they have to lie about us. We only have to tell the truth about them, and that's why that double standard is a good one. We have the right to badmouth and trash Sapphire because she drove us away and lied about us. They don't have a right to say a mother cuss word thing about us, and yet they're doing it and they have done it. And she didn't say a damn thing about what they had been saying about us since God knows when. I don't even know how long it's been going on. However long it has been, you know what? It wasn't nobody, but at one time, Shahrazad Ali was the only one that had a public platform telling them, stop trashing our brothers. Maybe somebody else did, but I don't know them. But she was the only one that had a public platform doing it. And even she had to talk some trash about Kevin Samuels at first, even though she didn't say his name. Now, she stepped off that trash talking, but in the beginning, even she had something to say about him. Well, maybe they had trouble getting women. If we had trouble getting black women, what's the damn problem? You yourself said we shouldn't. Thank you all for listening and being patient with me. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, black heterosexual, non-select male power just because they don't like it, black patriarchy until extinction of judgment day. Stay tuned for the premiere that's going to come out later on. Maybe 8 in the morning your time. And that's when I'm going to talk about the role that the non-black, non-white, the ethnic Muslim who wants to be white has played in Jonathan Major's conviction. Thanks again for flying with us here on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. And after we dock at the gate, should you choose to press the Cash App button on your way out of the Jet Black aircraft, only punch in numbers that are easy for you. But right now, I would appreciate it even more so if you would go to the merchandise link in the description and pick up t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, or something like that, and represent the Passport Bros at SYSBM. Gender, justice, forever.